PRINCE2 Plan Theme. Well, before we start, just recognise how important planning is. And for most members of Joe Public, they think us project professionals are the boys and girls who know how to plan. But the reality is that is not the case. You may or may not know, but I was the lead author for P3M3, and we've assessed more than 200 or 300 companies over the last 10 years. And the one big problem for all of them is they are systemically weak at planning. And that's why the projects run late. And not only are they weak at planning, in most organisations, they undervalue it as a skill, and then they underappreciate the output of good planning. Because if they say that they seem to prefer to actually say it's going to take 6 months and run 6 months late and tell somebody it's going to take 12 months. And there is the source of most planning failures. So it's systemic in organisations. So if you're in a position to improve the planning for your project, that's great news. Now, it's such a big topic and it's only a small chapter. So we'd like to recommend this book to you, right? Which is a little assembly of all the tools and techniques that you use to deliver your plan. It's called the Practical Guide. It's a project planning issued by the TSO in the UK and written by, it's me. All right, that's how serious it is, this planning thing. I had to sit down and write a book to try and help organisations improve. Sadly, most of them bought it, but it's there. There we go. So in PRINCE2 world, a plan is not a schedule. All right, it's not your Gantt chart. It's not your Microsoft project list of things to do. The plan is the whole thing. Your approach to benefits, your approach to change, your approach to scheduling, whatever it is, it's how you're going to get the project done. All right, not a list of tasks. So while we're on the subject of list of tasks, a key concept within PRINCE2 is product-based planning. Now, the product-based planning is just the most radically different idea to what most people do. So the idea is you focus on what you need to achieve at the end, not focus on the list of things you need to do. Yeah. Now, the problem is something like Microsoft Project focuses you on, give us a list of activities. And for most of us, we can think of a list of activities much easier than we can sit down and think, if we built that garden shed, what products do we need to create to get the garden shed? It's much easier to go, I'm going to go and dig a hole. All right. So for a lot of people, it just kind of doesn't work anyway. I know, work with clients that some people just can't get their brains to work this way, but it's how PRINCE2 wants you to work, and it drives you through that all the way. All right. So product-based planning. The other things that it covers is some techniques, and it's particularly big on one called Moscow, which some of you people who've done requirements might be familiar with. And when you're actually looking at what you need to create and how you prioritize things and where you put the effort, the acronym Moscow covers must have, should have, could have, and won't have. So when you're designing your product, you know that the must-haves are the critical things you need to have. And where are you going to write this? In your product description. Right, that's where it's going to go. The must-haves, you're failed if you don't get them. Should-haves are the things that are important, but maybe there's some wiggle room. The could-haves are the nice-to-haves. Yeah, those are the things you really want. They're the bells and whistles, but if they don't happen, yeah. And then there's won't-have. And an amazingly good way of communicating stuff to people is telling them what they won't have, and they'll have a better idea about what's to come. Because all this ambiguity, I thought it was going to do this, that, and the other. Well, if you write into it, it ain't going to do this, that, and the other, then you're going to have a better deal. All right? At least people know what they're going to get. It's not going to make them any happier. All right, so on we go. If you're going to do the course, enjoy it. And if not, I hope the video was useful.